Hi software, welcome back to your second day of drawing with the mouse, and this time we are going to toss in conditionals. So please make sure you have your screen set up so you can see my video and your blank editor. Remember, there is no starter code today, you are just starting from scratch. At the top of the screen, make sure you change whatever weird name they gave you. Today mine is Majestic Princess still. I think it was supposed to be Vale Gully. I think that's a weird glitch. But make sure you change it to something useful. I think the name of the lesson, like 1.3.1 Draw with Conditionals, might be helpful. And once you have changed, go up to File, click Save to make sure you have this in your account and you can come back to it later. And just a friendly reminder that you guys can always stop, pause, rewatch with anything that is confusing or that moved too quickly for you. You are also more than welcome to email or Slack me any of your questions. So here's our goal today, guys. We want to draw with the mouse again. The shape is really up to you. I think I might stick with a line just because, that's a harder one to come up with. It uses P mouse X and P mouse Y, but if you would like to use another shape, you are more than welcome to. And I want to integrate conditionals into what I am making. So in order to do that, I'm going to try and get my draw tool, the thing that's showing up on the screen as my mouse moves, to be a different color on the top half of the screen than it is on the bottom half of the screen. And I know, looking at my Create Canvas, that my height of my canvas is 400. So splitting it in half, that's the 200 mark is where I'm splitting it in half. Reminder that you can always change the size of your canvas, so if you don't like the default 400 by 400, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever. So let's go ahead and get started with this, guys. If I know I'm drawing with my mouse, the one thing that I want to do right away is just to take my background out of Draw and to move it into Setup. So I copy and pasted that background line, I moved it into Setup, I made sure I didn't get or delete any curly braces that I might need. And remember, I'm doing this because the Draw function is a loop. So I don't want the background looping because it's going to cover up my Draw tool, and I can guarantee all of us are going to make this mistake where you're like, it's not really drawing. Like, I see it a little bit, but it's not really drawing. And then I am going to tell you, you probably still have a background in Draw. So that's going to be my first step. And my second step is let's just get my Draw tool in there, and then I'll do the rest of it. So I'm going to put my cursor inside the Draw function, and I'm going to make a line that goes from P mouse X, P mouse Y, remember that's wherever your mouse was about a half second ago, to mouse X, mouse Y. And I'm just going to check to make sure it works. Big tip, guys, if we haven't talked about this already, it's hard to know what we did and didn't say when I don't have you in class every day. Whenever you make a change, make sure you check and see if it runs. I know some of you get in the zone and you try and code a lot of things, then you get errors, and it's hard to tell where the errors are because you never paused. So as soon as something is happening, hit play, see if it works. We know this works, this is good to go. So let's think about what I might want to change about this line. First, I want it to be thick enough that I can see what's happening. So I'm going to give it a stroke weight of 10. And again, I'm going to hit play. Oh, perfect. So stroke weight, also kind of an arbitrary number. If you don't like it this thick, you can change it. I just want to make sure that you guys can see the changes happening from your screen. And then I said I wanted it to change color. And whenever I think about something changing in my program, I think that I would like it to be a variable. So at the top of my screen, I'm going to make a variable for this color, and I'm just going to call it var draw color, or like line color would be a good name for this. Remember that your variable names also are a little arbitrary, but we try and name them well so that they make sense in our program. And I can even make a note that this controls color of line. So to make it control the color of the line, let's give it a starting color. I think I'll have it start as blue. So in my setup function, I'm going to say that at the start of the program, when this starts running, draw color should be equal to blue, which is a really basic blue is 00255. Once again, this is something where if you hate the color I'm using, feel free to go off and find your own, but this is one, I know off the top of my head, that we can definitely see. Now, my last step that some of you keep forgetting is I have to make sure I use this variable in my program. So right now this line has no set color, so I'm going to put in stroke and draw color. Now draw color is this color here. It's just going to substitute it in for me, and it's going to control the stroke of the line. And when I draw, I get a nice blue line. Look how pretty. All right, guys, so let's make this change. If we haven't talked about it yet, one thing that I think is a good practice is to kind of get all our code of stuff that's going to live on the screen forever. So right now, this is always going to live on the screen. I'll make a note. And then down here, I'm going to have my conditionals to control stuff on the screen. So I've kind of divided my draw function into two sections. There are lots of ways that you can write conditionals and that you can write the stuff that's on the screen. There is not one like right or wrong way. The reason why I suggest this is because I have seen student code very often where y'all get a little crazy with where you put things and then you can't figure out what things do and you can't find it. So in addition to leaving code comments, I would be just considerate about where you put things so that it's easy for you to come back to and make any changes. So down here in this condition that I am writing, I'm going to make a conditional where if my mouse is bigger than 200, I want the draw color to be red. And if it's not bigger than 200, I want the draw tool to be blue, just like it is now. And we said that I'm talking about up and down on my canvas. So in this instance, the top half will be blue and the bottom half will be red. So I want to deal with mouse Y. So I'm going to start off by just making my if statement. I've wrote an if, I have my parentheses, I have my curly braces. The computer's really mad at me because I haven't filled anything in. So I'm going to go back and say if mouse Y is bigger than 200, this would mean bottom of screen is where my mouse is, just so that we know. I'm going to delete that comment, but I want to make sure that we're aware. Then I want the draw color to change to red, which is 25500, really basic red. Then I want an else, and I could do this either with an else or an else if. I could say like else if mouse Y is less than 200, and then I could have an else for if it's an exactly 200, but I just want two colors. So I'm going to say that if my mouse Y isn't bigger than 200, I'm assuming it's smaller than 200, and then I want the color to switch back to blue. And that's my whole conditional, guys. It's just an if and an else, and it looks really beautiful, and I want to see if it works, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. So it starts off blue, 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 blue. Ah, now it's red. Yay. And if I go back up, it's blue once more. Nice, guys. This looks great. So this is kind of your jumping off point. What you guys are going to be doing on your own is making a program that is going to now draw and change color from right to left. So as I go across the screen this way, I should get 3 different colors. And you have already had a chance to try and split your screen into thirds with your traffic light project. This is a great time to remember that you can change the size of the canvas right in Create Canvas. So if you want something that's more easily divisible by thirds, change and adjust it there. But you guys are going to pick any 3 colors you want, and you guys are going to make it change into 3 colors as you move left to right. I would strongly advise that you start a new editor for that task. I do not need to see your code along editor. This was just to help you. So please do not ask me, should I start a new code along editor? Keep this one, use this one as notes, just open a new tab and work there. Last but not least, there is a spicy exceeding challenge because we are finally to a place where we have spicy exceeding challenges and things we can think through in your work for this week. So if you would like, please head over there and take a peek. Thanks, guys. I'm excited to see your colors. Bye.